My team and I were running the exact same marketing in the UK and the US, and the results couldn't be more different. So much so that we had to completely rethink our strategy. Same creative, same targeting, same website and funnel, one crushed it, one completely bombed. I'll explain exactly why later in the video, but it made me realize that 95% of the marketing advice online just simply doesn't work for UK businesses. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 pieces of advice for UK entrepreneurs that will completely change the way you market your businesses, your ads, your messaging, your sales, even buyer psychology needs to change. It's these insights that have made it possible for me and my companies to scale well beyond 40 million in online sales and help our clients do collectively over 122 million with their marketing in hundreds of different niches. So let's get started with the first one. And that is understanding the 4 buyer personality types. I actually learnt this from a friend and now business partner, Adam Stott. And he explained that there are so many different ways of analyzing personality types, but the one that he likes is like a deck of cards, right? You got spades, clubs, hearts, and diamonds, and everyone in any industry falls into primarily one of these categories. You've got the spades that are the go-getters. There's very little information needed. They just need the big headlines. They're excited. They want to go fast. They want to go big. You've got the clubs, far more analytical, far more reserved, far more logical. They won't get caught up in so much hype, but they want to know all of the finer details before they make a buying decision. Then you've got the hearts. It's all about emotion and care and making sure that if they were to buy something that they would be truly taken care of, and that they would also be able to contribute back into whatever community they were to buy into. And then you've got the diamonds. They just want to have fun, as much fun as possible. So when you're selling to a diamond, you need to make sure that whatever you're doing inside of your programs, your offers, your training, you're going to find a way to eliminate the boring and actually make consuming that program fun and enjoyable. Now, what we found is that people in the US buy very differently to people in the UK, and of course, vice versa. We found that people in the UK are far more reserved. They are more the clubs, and they're also the diamonds. They want to have a good time, they want to have fun, but they also want to make sure that they're making a really calculated decision. And that can often mean that actually they limit themselves from being able to seize opportunities and go fast. But that's the type of buyer profile we see in the UK. Whereas the US, far more trigger happy, get more excited. They're the spades, they want to go fast. And that means they do consume opportunities fast, but it also means that they can get caught in a pickle if they buy something that perhaps didn't deliver on what they said. And coupled with the spades, they're also the hearts. They're very emotion driven. And again, there's pros and cons to all of this, but we just found that the buyer profile with the UK, US, very, very different. And according to our old pal GPT, British people are 3 times more likely to be careful spenders than those in the US. And what's interesting is that's exactly what we've experienced in our businesses. And so urgency, for example, just doesn't work in the UK like it does in the US, which actually leads perfectly on to the second point. The second is actually a concept that I created myself, and it was a concept that was born out of a problem. You know, there's a very popular sales strategy out in the US, and it seems to still potentially work for a US audience, but it just simply doesn't for the UK, and that's something called the one call close. And the idea is if you have any kind of high ticket course, coaching, consulting or services, then you're going to get someone on a call and you're going to speak to that prospect and do everything you can in the sales rulebook to close them on that first call or nothing. So it's a one call close. And the problem is, here in the UK, where we're speaking to, pointing back to point number 1, a more reserved, more logical, more calculated buyer profile, they just simply won't be rushed into a decision. And so particularly with a UK prospect, it's like forcing a round peg into a square hole. It's just not fitting, but you're trying as hard as you can to make it work. And so I designed a completely new way of doing sales, and I called it the push and the pull. And it basically takes what was a one call close, splits it in the middle, and you do a bunch of stuff on the first conversation without selling the prospect, but it means the calls are shorter. And then you book a follow-up and you do the extra stuff that's needed to now close the prospect and bring them in. And by simply breaking up one call into 2 and the extra time that affords you to build relationship and rapport with the prospect, this out-converts anything I've ever seen before. And an interesting point is not only does this work so well for a UK audience, we're actually finding that for our clients, this works even better for US clients as well. There's a whole model to this. I could go on for hours about the stuff that we say, but instead I'm happy to just give you my framework completely for free. I designed this for my clients and you can have it too. This is script number 1. It's called the push script. Tells you exactly what to say and do on that first call to get someone ready to buy. And then you've got the pull script, which is step number 2. It tells you exactly what to say and do to get that prospect that's been pre-sold actually ready to buy and give you their credit card information. So click the link in the description box, tell me where to send it, I'll get it straight over to you. Number 3 is actually the importance of incorporating live elements into your business, whether that is live traffic generation tactics. You know, you're going live on your YouTube channel, or you're doing live webinars in your marketing, or maybe even you're putting on live events. We've got a conference that we run here in the UK called AdCon, where we gather 1,000 people in one epic room and we teach them some of the best marketing strategies from myself, my team, and some amazing special guests. And what we found in the UK is that is needed to be able to close a prospect. Whereas over in the US, events are almost like an add-on, right? People are willing to invest in things online with just a little bit of information. And then coming to a live event is just for the feel good. Whereas in the UK, it's almost like that now is where trust is actually built. And so the online conversion stuff is harder, whereas get someone in a room, have them experience something epic with you for 3 days, and that is how you build trust with a UK audience. And I got 2 things to tell you about. Number 1 is you should go to adcon.co.uk and check out the details for our next upcoming event. Because even if you're in the US or somewhere outside the UK, we have so many people fly in for this thing. It's that good, and I'd love to see you there. Second thing is somewhere around this video or in the description box, we've actually done a YouTube video where I broke down the pitch and the offer that I actually made in the room so that you can learn exactly how I sell to a UK audience. And that presentation did 1.6 million in sales over the course of that 3 days. So definitely worth checking that one out. The fourth thing is the value first formula. You see, in the US, funnels are built primarily around the hard sell, adding bonuses, countdowns, scarcity, and things like this. Whereas in the UK, the same funnel completely flops unless it's built around value first. So the framework would be that you run an ad or drive traffic in some way, shape, or form. You move them through to some kind of educational video. You even make sure the ads themselves are educational, and then they move through to perhaps a webinar or some kind of live experience where again you can double down on the value, and only then do you move to making an offer to that audience that they can buy. So with this idea of value first, you'll find that the more you teach, the more you're able to sell. And so here, education is the persuasion piece in sales. And number 5 is understanding how and when to use mobile traffic, because circling back to the beginning of the video, I said we did the exact same marketing campaign, same funnel, same offer, same sales process to the UK and the US, and the results were vastly different. Well, what we found was with mobile traffic, meaning that they're on their phone looking at my marketing and my funnels and my sales processes, in the US, we saw low intent from people that were on their mobile phones, shorter attention spans, and accidental clicks in lots of cases. Whereas in the UK, with mobile traffic, we actually found we were able to increase the trust we were building with those clicks, more engaged audiences, and stronger conversions. It's another perfect example of how what works in one scenario may not automatically be able to be transferred over to another. Online behaviors and patterns can be vastly different for different countries. And so what we ended up doing is actually completely turning off mobile traffic in the US, and we only kept it on in the UK. That doesn't mean to say that it doesn't work and won't work for your business, but this is definitely something that you should look into, you should experiment with, and see how your mobile traffic is responding to your funnels and your marketing, depending on the country that they've originated from. If you'd like to learn how to bring all of this together into one master plan that you can deploy in your business, I've got another video right here breaking it all down, all the way from traffic to conversion. So check that out. Hope you find it useful, and I'll see you in the next video.